Good morning and welcome to this Haverstock School Assembly for the week beginning the 16th of November 2020. The image you can see is a small statue of a Minoan bull leaper. It shows a man attempting to leap over a charging bull and risking his life in the process. The statue looks a little bit worse for wear. It doesn't look in brilliant condition. But that's understandable if we consider that this statue is thought to be 3,500 years old. It was built by a sculptor who was part of the Minoan civilization. And we're not really sure why Minoans indulged in this sport or this habit of bull leaping, why they tried to jump over bulls that were charging in this way. Some people think it was a kind of sport or entertainment. Some people think it was a form of religious ritual. But what we do know is that it obviously took a huge amount of daring and courage. And that was fairly typical of the Minoans because they were a people who were constantly trying exciting and ambitious things. The Minoans ruled what is now the island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea from around 2700 BC, so nearly 5,000 years ago. And today they are known as Europe's first advanced civilization. They're seen as the first group of people in Europe who started to take steps towards being the kind of civilized society that we live in today. It's funny that they were able to achieve this from the island of Crete, because to look at it, you would think it would be a very difficult place to even survive in. It's mountainous, it's dry, it looks quite barren, it's surrounded by sea, so it's cut off from the rest of Greece and from the rest of Europe. But the Minoans were a very resourceful people, and they were able to find ways not just to survive, but to thrive on this island. They learned how to grow a whole range of crops, and they learned how to rear cattle and sheep, and how to fish the sea surrounding the island. So from that, they were able to develop a very varied and healthy diet and live to a surprisingly old age. But beyond just surviving, the Minoans wanted to develop as a culture and as a society. They developed their own form of writing called Linear A. We don't to this day know exactly what this writing means. We haven't been able to translate it, but we know that it existed because it's found carved into the ruins of the Minoan civilization that have been found in Greece. And from those same ruins, we know that the Minoans built incredible buildings like this palace at Knossos. We also know that they filled these buildings with amazing art, pottery, and frescoes. So they were a people not content just to survive, but who wanted to live a better life and to develop their own kind of culture and their own very impressive way of living. They were even able to overcome the fact that they were living on an island by becoming expert ship makers. And on the ships that they built, they were able to travel all over the Mediterranean and North Africa and the Middle East to trade with other civilizations and to have a huge influence on the architecture and culture of other societies as well as their own. It all makes me think of the recent developments of the past couple of weeks and the development of what will hopefully be an effective coronavirus vaccine. Because human beings have always shown an inspiring ability to overcome the challenges posed by the natural world and come up with solutions that allow us to survive and thrive. Just as the Minoans were able to cope with everything that nature threw at them in terms of the topography and climate of the island of Crete, we, it seems, hopefully have been able ultimately to overcome the challenges of the coronavirus and come up with a solution that will protect us and save lives. The battle against the coronavirus is far from over. And it's going to be very important still going into this winter that we continue to do all of the things that we have been doing and take all the measures we have been taking to help protect us from this virus. We still need to socially distance, we still need to wash our hands, we still need to wear masks, and all of the things that are helpful in preventing the spread of the virus. But there is a hope that perhaps by this time next year, life might be something like back to normal, back to the way it was before the virus first appeared. And that's all down to the fact that scientists have developed this vaccine in a way that would never have been achievable hundreds or thousands of years ago. For thousands of years, viruses like the coronavirus had no known vaccine or no known cure, and they were able to do incredible damage to generation after generation after generation. But now, because of the expertise that we have developed in science and in medicine, we've been able to develop what looks like an effective vaccine within not much more than a year of the virus first appearing. And it's just possible that in years to come, people will look back with as much admiration for the scientists who created this vaccine as we do when we look back on the Minoans, who were able to create Europe's first advanced civilization, despite all of the restraints that being based on an island in the Mediterranean presented them with.